Hi, everyone. Welcome to Soul Talk. I'm Patty Malik, and today Beth Herndobler is back with us. It's been a while since Beth has been here, and what a time for her to arrive for us. We were just talking about, where we're at in this world and what we're coming into, and we're just, as I was saying, we're like at this precipice where we're all just like on this cliff, ready to kind of jump off. But we are going to be talking about the path of the light warrior in the Age of Aquarius and dive into doing some mini sessions with Beth. If you want to ask your question of Beth and get a chance to work with her, you can hit *2 on the phone to raise your hand, or you can type questions into the webcast page and we'll get to those. She's also going to do a process or a meditation with us, maybe to hopefully help ground us, as we're just kind of, it's a wild time. And I think it's an important thing that we all be conscious of every day. If you're not familiar with Beth, she's a former trial attorney and turned energy healer, intuitive spiritual counselor. She's a certified intuitive strategist, a medium, a divine channel, and a master sacred geometrist. She communicates with your higher self, your spirit guides, angels, and ancestors for messages, guidance, and healing. And she combines this guidance with a breakthrough technique that identifies and clears blocks, the stuck points and patterns quickly, so that you can open up to a life lived on purpose, in abundance, and with ease and grace. And we all really have been working towards that and looking forward to, really experiencing that in this new world that is ready to unfold for us. And I want to welcome Beth back to Soul Talk. I'm so excited to have you back. Welcome, Beth. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Patty, for the invitation and for having me back. It feels so expansive to be here and to be with your beautiful community, especially, it's just perfect that I'm back at this moment. It's absolutely divinely orchestrated, so thanks for participating in that orchestration.
Well, it always seems to be. It just is, it never fails with every guest, especially the last 2 or 3 years, that it just aligns so perfectly with the time that we're in and the message that you're meant to bring, and it's amazing. It's beautiful. I always call it this beautiful dance we do here.
It is, and thank you. I love the dance, so I am grateful to be invited to the party. It's you're flowing in grace, which is why everything is happening in alignment, as you just spoke of. And I've just been pondering today what is grace, and realize grace is when you are firmly anchored in your heart, absent all reaction and resistance. So that's you creating this frequency of grace for all of us who participate in that space that you're holding with Soul Talk. So thank you for that and for all you're doing to up-level us all.
Oh, thank you, Beth. Wow, that was beautiful. Wow. So ever since you sent me this topic, the path of the light warrior in the Age of Aquarius, I've just been really curious of what was going to unfold for that. Talk about what.
So was I.
So is it going to come through a channeled?
Well, it already has come through, and even just once you extended the invitation, it did. I was, in a sense, just being a little impish, a little mischievous there, but no, because I'm not actually being mischievous. It does come through that way. In fact, just in the last hour before we began, I said, so what is it you want me to do for the process? And they showed me. Now, years back, I would have been very on top of this, and even if I was allowing it to come in intuitively and channeling, I would have had everything orchestrated behind the scenes and notes and written out. And so that's kind of the call of the Age of Aquarius, is to open to our expanded levels of creativity, especially creativity and co-creation with the divine, with all of your divine missions, with everything that you came here to do, to allow that to come through without any concern for the how it's supposed to happen, and allow that blossoming creativity of the graceful connection, the elegant connection that is available to each of us between the divine, our team, and us as souls in human spirit. See, I said I wasn't channeling, but I am channeling right now, and that's the point. That's the point. That is what being a light warrior in the Age of Aquarius is. What does that mean? What is the path of the light warrior in the Age of Aquarius? It means being in tune with what your role is in this moment as we move into this new roughly 2,000 year age. I mean, we've been in the Piscean age, which was all about hierarchical structure, the patriarchy, the rise of I'm up here and I need all of you down there to make me being up here make sense, as opposed to what's happening now and will continue to unfold over the next 2,000 years is a more horizontal, if you will, energy, which is of equality, democracy, flow, community, creativity, opening to what more is possible, more light, more love, less, it's still going to take some time, but less of that patriarchal structure that we see in our 3D world, government, corporatocracy, the way businesses are done, even the way families have been done. Historically, women were wed based on what they could bring in terms of the dowry, and then it all, and I'm talking, 18th, 19th century, although it's still true. It was a business deal for the most part, especially if you had any means, and all that is breaking down. So what the path of each of us as light warriors is in this new Age of Aquarius is to allow ourselves to receive those marching orders, those instructions, that inspiration about what you came here to do at this moment. Everybody who is alive on the planet at this moment came here for this transition, where we're moving from that patriarchal structure, that negativity, that density, that judgment of right and wrong, into a more graceful, elegant, easy flow of creativity of what more is possible in the truth and light of you, and in bringing in the new higher vibrational light that is been flowing and is going to intensify, which would be a good thing. Well, it's a good thing if you're open. It's a painful thing if you're not, as we are in this dawning of the Age of Aquarius.
Well, it's a good thing that med beds are going to be coming about very soon, that will make us be ageless and never in diseased bodies or sickness, so that we can enjoy some of these 2,000 years that are ahead of us.
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the things that will most help you avoid that dis-ease, discomfort, that to tap into epigenetic reverse engineering of aging and all of that, is to listen to what your body is saying. So when there's a pain, when there's an ache, when there's a tightness, when there's stress, when there's achiness, touch that place and say, I hear you. What are you saying to me? What do you need me to know? And once you get that, then you say, and I am available to receive and pledge. I will listen to your messages so you can stop sending me the pain, the discomfort, the inflammation, the stress, what have you. I will hear you without it. And the more that we can move into that heart-centered, grounded, stabilized, as above, so below place with our physical bodies, the less breakdown of those bodies there is. Now, will that get you 2,000 more years? No, not necessarily. It will get you more years, and those years will be better years because you won't be falling apart.
Right, yeah.
And then you can get on your med bed.
Yeah. I know everybody's waiting. It's like, when are they coming? So really, this age of Aquarius, this path of the light warriors, as you said, is opening to these expanded levels of co-creativity. And getting there really requires, essentially, it sounds like surrendering and not trying to control the narrative and how things are going to look for us and whatnot, but really surrendering so that that grace can come through.
That's absolutely right, because if you have an agenda, if you are attached to an outcome, if you are holding judgments and expectations, then you are not in a surrendered state. And that applies to everything. There is nothing that you can hold on to that you can judge, attach, or expect to and still be in a full state of surrender. You really have to let go. And that's why, you're on the precipice at the edge of a cliff is so beautiful as an analogy of that. The surrender would be, and I am absolutely not talking literally here, people. Nobody is being invited to step off a cliff, no matter how small it might be. Metaphorically, symbolically, that is what we're doing, stepping off the cliff, knowing that if we spread our arms and trust, we will fly, we will not crash to the ground. Again, Nobody is saying try that out. As they say, don't try this at home. I mean, in your meditation, in your time in stillness and silence, when you are in nature, allow yourself to surrender. I mean, there's so much power and support for grounding to sustain us in these troubling times, because we're still very much, though we have moved into the age of Aquarius and the path of the light warrior is powerfully open at this time, there's still challenges, and we need to move beyond the challenges so that we can still allow ourselves to receive that higher vibrational new light, those new freedom codes and all that is coming forward. So if you spend some time in nature and allow yourself to really come into oneness with all that is in the natural world, that's the divine state of a light warrior. That's the divine state of grace of a light warrior in this new age of Aquarius, where you recognize the oneness of all that is, whether that's between you and me, you and your audience, me and the trees, me and the ground, me and the sky. It's all the same. We are moving out of that hierarchical state of separation and into that egalitarian, expanded oneness with everything and everyone. And so to move forward, as you said, into all this, to receive it, requires a complete surrender. Doesn't mean in this moment that you have to let go and surrender. It means moment by moment by moment by moment you continue to do it, which is why it's only an analogy about jumping off the cliff, because you're not going to just jump all at once. You might put your toe out. You might lean a little forward and see, might let your angel wings out from your back and say, are they ready to hold me? Take your time, but do know that moving beyond the challenges of the 3D world and of the old, outdated patriarchal structures that are breaking down, that we're moving beyond, that is the path of the light warrior. Surrender, trust, allow, and flow.
I love that. When you think about it, surrender really is essentially being in the now. It's just living in the moment, and just letting go, be in that moment to moment to moment. Yeah.
It is. a very small and perfect example of surrender is I have been out of all fresh foods for days. In fact, I haven't even gone to the grocery store at all in 2021. I went on the last couple of days, New Year's Eve, the day before, and loaded up. But as I was trying to find the time to go to the grocery store in a very busy schedule, I ended up surrendering because the time that I thought that I had on Monday to do it, I couldn't. I didn't feel well. I just didn't have the energy. It was not important. And so I surrendered, and I just let it go. Now, I wouldn't have been able to do that 10 years ago. I would have demanded that I go to the store even though I didn't feel well because that was what the agenda said. I was attached to the agenda. So instead, now as I'm moving and working, as we all must, to surrender, I let that go and began looking at everything in my fridge and freezer in a new way. Where's the food that I already have that can nourish me until it flows for me to go to the store? So then we go through all the days until today, Thursday, and I looked at my schedule last night and I said, well, if you don't go at this time, here in the tomorrow, then you're going to have to go in this small way. And then I just said, stop it. You're doing it. You're trying to create something out of the left brain, the old way. Let's just let it be and flow. And I woke up this morning and I meditated, and then I said, well, I can either get on the computer and do my work, and right then it was like kind of a visceral physical sensation, not like chills, but it was just this sort of zing, and it was very clear, go to the store now. And I did. I had to go to 2 different stores, and there were no lines. There were no people in the store, and it was early, but not that early. I mean, I was at the store between around 8:30 and 10, but everything just flowed. Everything I wanted was there. All the fresh fruits and vegetables that I needed to be organic were there. Everything flowed, and that's what we can do in these new frequencies in the age of Aquarius. If you are willing to be that light warrior. Now that's a small example, because normally would we think, allowing yourself to flow into and surrender into when it is in your highest good to go to the grocery store, that's not something I would normally associate with being a light warrior, but it is, because it's the surrender.
Right, exactly. And we should say that you're in California, and I was in California for a little bit of the COVID time, but left, and it's a pain in the butt, because the lines are so long, and you just don't want to deal with it, and it just makes it so much more difficult. So for you to put yourself in that flow of when to go was so beautiful.
It was. I'm telling you, I couldn't even get the stuff on the conveyor belt fast enough because the lady in both stores, the person was just standing there as if waiting for me.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's
surrender and flow as a light warrior in the age of Aquarius, moving beyond the challenges. I did not have any kind of COVID shutdown, and we are. I mean, I'm in LA County, so if you want it, wherever you are across the globe, look it up. We're like one of the epicenters at this point. Yeah. And I'm on the edge. I'm not in the city of Los Angeles, but nonetheless, it is possible, even under those circumstances, to fully surrender into what is yours to do and not go to the store on Monday when you think you should, so that you can go on Thursday when you pop up after your morning meditation and be, well, which way shall I go with my day, and receive that information, go to the store now. And I literally did jump up and got dressed and brushed my teeth and was like, out the door we go. So
that's great.
It's a beautiful experience, and I can feel the shift in the energies from even just a month ago. More so 2, 3, 4. I mean, we've been in the breakdown process for a while, but 2020 was the precipice, as you said. And we're going to continue energetically with that breakdown through, it's not, if it took 2,000 years to change the age from Pisces to Aquarius, we are not going to just, click, it's 2021 and now we're in the breakthrough. We are in the breakthrough, but the breakdown's still happening. And towards the end of the year, there will be a lot more openness around that. But in the meantime, it's available. The breakthrough is available to those committed to the path of the light warrior and willing to surrender beyond the challenge.
Yeah. And I think the more that it does break down, the more the energy is able to move.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So your special offer today is about manifesting abundance in the Age of Aquarius. Talk about what that looks like. How is that going to be different than what we have been living?
Well, there's less opposition energetically. There will be less opposition, less shadow, less duality as we move further into the Age of Aquarius and in through and as this year of 2021. And if you're in alignment and doing your work on your path to stand more fearlessly in the truth and light of you and what you came here to be, do, have, and create, these energies are going to really support you and lift you up. Years ago, I was taking care. They were probably, my grandsons they're twins, and they're 12 now. I think they were 7, and I was taking care of them while their parents were both working out of town. And when my daughter came home, one of the twins right away was complaining to her that no one was supporting him to his highest success while she was gone. And while that certainly wasn't true, and he readily admitted and was able to move and shift into what he really meant, which is, I really missed you and I didn't like that you were gone so long, that phrase has stayed with me. That's what these energies are doing, is supporting us to our highest success in opening, awakening, expanding, ascending, and embodying ourselves more gracefully as spiritual beings in a human body. We are not human beings, right? This body, however well we take care of it and however the med beds do or don't work for us, the fact of the matter is this coat you're wearing, the suit you're wearing, which is your body, is temporary. Your soul is infinite. And these energies that of the new Age of Aquarius are really supporting us to our highest success in accessing that as a ongoing conscious reality that yes, this is my body, and yes, I am in it, and I am a soul, I am a spirit, I am one with all that is, and that is eternal and ongoing. The more that we open to realizing that in this new age, the more we will be supported to our highest success in achieving what we came here to do, in ascertaining with clarity what of our divine missions have yet to be fulfilled, and then seeing the way clear creatively to fulfill them. That's the difference between between where we've been and where we are and where we're moving through. It's the difference between walking, with no opposition versus knee-deep in mud. We've been moving knee-deep in mud, which is a lot harder. So I salute and congratulate everyone who has been doing this work to move through that mud, but now it's time to step out of the mud, rinse your feet off, and walk through the air with no resistance and opposition. Mm-hmm. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. As someone had said on this show, that we can't have ascension without abundance. And
correct.
Really, what's going to be opening up is just this really abundant universe in just so many ways. Yeah. But I think it's going to really depend on what timeline you're on. Are you on the 3D timeline or the 5D, where you have the access to it?
absolutely, because it's a call to coming from a more heart-centered, creative place, and that is not something we are taught in the 3D world. Unless you live in some, I don't even know if then, but, some highly evolved, mystical, spiritual family where you have gurus and mystics that are abundant in the family, perhaps then. But even then, if you've been functioning in the 3D world, you're not going to have that heart-centered as your base. And that's the shift we're in right now, is moving out of...
Key.
Yes, it is, absolutely is the key. And those who can't move out of their left egoic mental mind masculine structure into the heart are going to be squeezed and really feel the pain of everything that's breaking down, because they're out of alignment. And these new frequencies are so strong that they're going to press on you even if you are not open to them. They won't be received in the same way as a person who is open to receiving them will. The expansion will not be the same. The pain will be greater if you resist. And that's where you'll begin to see, and you'll notice it in your own life, in your personal life, with your work, with your community, your neighbors. You can see it playing out on the global stage right now in the news and everything. Who is locked into their left brain and not in their heart? Those people are going to have a tough time. True light warriors willing to receive these new frequencies in a state of trust and surrender, it's going to be so much more easy. We'll truly be out of the mud and muck.
Yeah, in the flow. Yeah, the divine flow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Beth, can we take a few callers and
absolutely
see what's on their mind and how we can help them?
Certainly. Let's do it. That's
all right.
Fun.
Okay. Let's see. We have a caller in Ottawa, and the last four digits are 0447.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. It's Wilma. It's Wilma.
Hi, Wilma.
I'm so excited to get a chance to speak with Beth. And
wait, Wilma, you're not Wilma that I've been
You're
Wilma that I've been emailing?
Yes.
Oh, Wilma. Now I got to stop you for 1 minute and sing this woman's praises. This woman is in flow. We've never met. I don't believe we've ever worked together, have we?
No.
Nope. She emailed me, and in response to a newsletter that I sent out, and that was yesterday or the day before, and everything, I'm getting full body chills. It's all, we've been communicating around the Age of Aquarius, and her alignment, her surrender, even in very challenging times for her financially because of the pandemic, is what has allowed her to be the person who was called on first in this call. You go, Wilma.
Oh.
I love it. This is flow, people,
that.
right here. This lady is flow.
And so here's what I was going to say. I normally would go into the story part, and I just feel guided and blessed that I'm meant to just open and receive whatever it is that I am meant to hear from you right now.
Okay.
Whew.
Perfect. Yeah. Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Deep breath. Okay, so I want you to close your eyes, because what is happening is feel into your heart space. So in between your collarbone and almost to the bottom of your rib cage.
Okay.
And pull from left to right. Open the side channels of your heart, just as if you could unzip them in that space from your armpit to your bottom of your rib cage, and let that beautiful emerald green light of your heart flow out horizontally to allow the space for the 3 heart activation, energy, Aquarian flow, whatever suits you. Because breathe in, keep breathing very deeply, and on the exhale, you're letting go of any density. Everyone can do this too. Let go on the exhale of all density that does not serve your highest good in these new frequencies. And in those exhales, keep breathing very deeply, exhaling with some sound. You're creating an expanded state in your heart center where we're going to activate the 3 hearts that have already come in, triple powering your heart energy. So feel into the small heart in the center that is connecting the one on the left and the right side. Breathe in from in front of you, divine white and pink light. Bring that in to your heart space and see, sense, feel, or just imagine that those 3 higher vibrational Age of Aquarian hearts are being activated with this divine white and pink light from the front. Keep breathing. And now from the back, we must always remember that all our energy centers have a back. I want you to open to the flow of blue frequency, that blue light that is for clarity, and the divine masculine who waits on bended knee for that pink of the divine feminine of love to give him his direction as to what is the right action to take. So you're breathing that in, even as you are expanding and uniting, coming into oneness with all 3 hearts, letting that blue be the foundation underneath that waits for the order as to what is the right and perfect action steps in your highest good to move you forward beyond the challenge into the greater expanded version of you as a light warrior. Now you can just let all that go and open your eyes. Take a moment to notice what you notice in the room that you're in, noticing what's come in and what's left, what's shifted or changed is very helpful to let things integrate into the more dense matter that is the 3D human body. How does that feel?
It's very interesting because I was as we were talking about using like a zipper, I did exactly that, and I opened outwards as if I was opening French doors, and I could feel immediately from up around my throat and starting to move downwards, I could feel a really heavy, dense, almost like I want to throw up, but not that bad, which I just went with the flow because I assume there's so much that has to get out that it was just all being shoved forward, and I can still feel that moving. And at the very same time, I could feel it was beautiful when I opened. I could feel the pink and the white come together in the front, and then when I opened to the back, I could feel the blue come in, and then it was as I was still realizing there's a lot coming out of the front. I could feel. I'm trying to think of the word of it. You know, when something comes together, it just everything falls into place. That's exactly what I felt.
Perfect. Beautiful.
So this is wonderful. Thank you. I'm so glad I followed my guidance to call and my guidance to just be open and receive. That's what came. Allow, open and receive, and allow what you have to hear to come in. So I'm so very grateful to both of you for this.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
I'm grateful that you're here and you can be the shining example of the path of the light warrior in this new age.
She really was.
So keep breathing.
And I look forward to letting you know what happens after this.
Yes, do. Keep breathing and allowing, because the work will continue to expand and bubble, and definitely drink a lot of water and stay really grounded. Just imagine.
That's the feeling I have, is that something has started and it's not completely finished yet. There's a certain alignment that has, but what has to purge is still going. So thank you.
You're very welcome.
Wow.
Much love to you, my dear.
I was so guided to pick her. I was just like drawn like a magnet to her.
That is so amazing, Patty. I think you could hear it in my voice, because the minute that she said her name was Wilma, I knew that it was that person that I've been communicating with. But at the same time, it's astonishing.
Yeah, and it's like Spirit really wanted that to come through. She was such a great example, as you were saying, of that path of the light warrior.
And
bravo
as you're
to
saying
you,
that, I'm
Wilma.
beautiful. Yes, I'm getting this huge sensation of chills in my right knee, which is the way my body communicates with me that action of stepping forward into your purpose and what more you're here to do is when I feel these tingles in my right knee, and that's just flowing for everyone on this call, but in particular for Wilma and for you, Patty, because you embodied, you see, there was the three of us and the divine, and you embodied that surrender into and co-creation, that creativity that is the energy of the Age of Aquarius, by letting yourself be drawn to her as the first caller. Powerful stuff. This is what happens when you're plugged in to the frequency of abundance.
It's just a fun world to be in.
Isn't it? As opposed to, as I tell my clients, listen, if you want to watch Channel 2 and you turn on the radio, it's never going to happen. You have to be in tune with the frequency that you want. If you're focused on what's wrong, you are not going to discover what's right because there's no space. You're not plugged into that frequency. That bandwidth can't come through.
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool. And I will say, Wilma, you are one tapped-in lady. She really is tapped in. Good for you. So now we're going to go to Sue in Santa Monica, and she's on the webcast, and she said, I love how Beth has described grace, and it's key to the gateway of the heart and the importance of living in a heart-centered creative place. Can you, Beth, please take a look into my heart center to see what steps I can take to move out of Grace's way to open to a greater love, joy, and abundance?
Okay, so as I was receiving your energy and your question, Sue, even before you said, can you look into my heart center, what I saw was that the back of your heart chakra is draining out through your tailbone. So it's kind of like coming, the heart energy is flowing through a little tunnel down to the base of your tailbone and then just sort of dispersing out into the earth, which is not a bad thing to share some of your energy with the earth, and yet it's draining your capacity to flow it for yourself. I mean, we don't want, I know this isn't a conscious thing you're doing, although I would, it would seem to me from what I'm getting intuitively that perhaps you have a very unique version of overgiving and more to the point of not giving enough time and attention and space and accolades and appreciation and love to yourself is more the point than that you're like the classic overgiver. It's not really that so much. And so what you want to do is cap off that little tunnel that is at the back of your heart center so that it can just go drain itself down into the earth. You know, that's a beautiful donation. And then let your energy of the heart flow in all directions, sourcing and sustaining you, as opposed to you being a heart-centered person as you are and then not feeling the full bounty of the flow because you've got this leak in the back. I hope that makes sense. I feel like it does for you. And let me know, reach out and let me know how that's going to cap that leak off and then let the energy of your heart center bubble and sustain and nourish and expand you so that you can then even give more brightly without giving away your light, because you'll be more able to hold the light that the divine is gifting you. It won't be leaking out.
So, Sue, if you're on the webcast, you can type in and we'll watch for any comments to that. let's see, we have a lot from California today. We have Kim in California.
You talked it up.
I guess. And last four digits for Kim are 4744.
Hello, Beth.
Hello.
Kim.
Hello, Kim. I said she said 4. I just said, that's my Kim. Hello, my darling.
Oh, your fans are here, Beth.
I love it. I just love it.
The tribe, the energy of the tribe. Beautiful, beautiful share today.
How are you doing today, my beautiful light?
Wow, my heart is so expanded right now. I'm so happy that I have this opportunity to talk to you at this moment. So I'm doing wonderfully. I have a question. Today I grabbed a domain name for something new, an add-on, and I've been feeling a lot of really good stuff, a pull, that drawn to it. And I asked what my guides have to say about this process. I mean, I feel like this is the time, the commitment. So that's what I'd have.
Okay, so yes, they do approve. There is a slight hesitation in the yes. So what that is saying is that there's equally some greater surrender, not specifically necessarily around this issue, but in general, though you are very in a very surrendered state, more is even being asked, and in specific to the various, depending on which of your team you're listening to, the imp or the more mature ones, you're getting side hustles and all those businesses. So the surrender into how it will all come together and flow a little bit more is being encouraged, a little bit more trust of yourself, that expanded heart that you're feeling, to know that, yes, this domain and yes, this moving forward is what is in my highest interest. So there's a calling back, if you will, of your energy, so that even though you have multiple collaborations and a day job and lots of engagements with friends and family, there's just lots of connections that are really beautiful and bountiful in your life. But the energy right now for you to co-create at the deeper levels with the divine is asking for a temporary pulling back. That doesn't mean not seeing people, talking to, it doesn't mean doing anything in the 3D external world differently. This is all energetic. You want to pull back all that heart energy that you've been extending out and keep it for yourself for the next 2 to 3 to 4 weeks as you're entering into this new arrangement, so that it will only have your energy on it, not all that other stuff. There's a call for you to co-create directly with Source at this time and let all the rest of that just kind of hit a pause. Does that make sense?
Oh, my gosh, it's so beautiful. And the one thing that I've been feeling, because there's information I need, and I've been really sitting in a space of knowing that what I need, I can get by going inside. And it's things that I'm not going to be able to read in a book, right? I can't.
Right.
It's something that I need to know that needs to come from my higher self or the divine aspect to complete it. So that is a beautiful message of guidance.
Perfect.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Patty. I appreciate you picking on me. Love it. Much love, all.
Love you too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Yep. I was muted. And
did Patty zone out into her heart?
Muted. Oh, I'm chatting away and nobody can hear me. Okay.
I've done that.
I know. Let's see. Robert is in Phoenix, and last four digits are 2772.
Hello.
Hi, is it Robert?
Hello, how are you? Yes, it is. Hello. Hello, Patty.
Hello.
Beth.
Hi.
I'm doing well. How are you?
How are you? Wonderful.
Good.
Long time.
Nice to hear your voice.
Thank you. Long time light warrior. Been mired in the muck for decades.
Ready to get out of it?
I had much ready. I had a quick question logistically. I did sneak ahead and picked up package B.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went out to your website to try to schedule an appointment, I wasn't able to. It just showed there wasn't any available.
Oh, yeah, you skipped ahead. And thank you for being my my assistant who told me I need to schedule. Yeah. I need to open up some appointments. Ding, ding, ding. You get a bonus for that, for being my assistant.
Okay.
And thank you for your eager purchase of Package B. I will, after the show, open up some appointments. So come back in like an hour or two after the show, and you can make your appointment.
Okay, perfect.
Better yet, if you want to directly email me what time you're generally available, what days of the week, what times of the day. I know you're in Phoenix, so there's a bit of a time difference there, although I don't know if there is at this time of year. And I will email you back and give you the appointment of your choice. You see, because
look at that.
You got through, you bought the package already, and this question was serving me. So, yes, just email me what your availability is, and I'll get you the appointment that is just for you, Robert.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And so that was the logistic question. But on a personal front, I think, sitting in the mud and the mire for a couple decades now, I lost a lot of joy and passion for doing the work out in public. Over the years, I became more insulated, and I still do the work personally. I still go to workshops. I still, I still carry the light, but I don't venture out as much as I used to.
And that's okay.
I'm not on the vanguard anymore.
That's all right, because what's coming through for you, Robert, is that a recognition of what your role, what your mission is at this point is what's being called for. Because what we used to do and what we do now and what we're going to do tomorrow and in the coming months and years are not the same, because we are on a divine timeline of evolution. And so you're coming out of that mired in the muck period, that cycle, and into a more expansive one that is going to look very differently. So what does this mean? Well, just using as an example, when I first started channeling, it was a big word in bold caps. And then it was a sentence. And then it was animated pictures. And then it was like a full movie on a screen, and then it was a translatable. I could feel the words coming down, and then I would, have to translate the energy of the words and say it. And now it's just annoying. In the very beginning, when I was talking with Patty, and she said something about, is it going to be channeled? And I said no, and then a second later I said, hey, this is being channeled. Back in the old days, which was, 6 years ago, I would have sounded more different, and I would have felt completely different. I would have, I know, I am receiving, I'm channeling. Now it evolved into an expanded state of Gnosticism, of knowing. That's what you need to be on the lookout for, because the muck has been supporting you in releasing the old stuff, not just the density, but the old receptivity, the old ways that you brought things forth is falling away because new is coming in. So when we say be on the lookout, what does that mean? It does not mean move into hypervigilance. It just means move into the present moment, to the now moment, in stillness and silence, and say, what do you have for me? What more is available in this moment? How may I serve and support in more expanded ways at this time? And then notice what happens. Because as of right now, the energy is that you are moving into a new cycle that is going to allow in time more towards the end of 2021 for you to re-enter, but in a new way, in that out there, in quotes, being out there. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Not out there as in so far out, but out there as in not retracted by not retracted is the wrong word, not by yourself. You will find more community engagement flows more towards the end of the year. So honor the cycle that you've been in, because it's like a region. It's like when you leave a field fallow in between plantings, and then so that the soil can get more enriched. That's what you've been doing. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense to you with what your experience has been over the last few years?
Yes.
Beautiful. You got a lot more happening and coming. There's a lot of leadership, a lot of creativity, a lot of creation leadership coming, light warrior leadership coming. So begin playing with that as you sit in stillness and silence, as you meditate, as you commune with your higher self. Just keep saying, I accept what more you have for me. I am ready for my next mission. And that will help smooth the transition. Beautiful, beautiful energy, beautiful things coming for you. I can't wait to work with you. More.
I'm ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. I love that. You know, I've learned so much. Everyone has brought something to the table, I think, that all of us can, pick up on for ourselves. You know, the isolation, we've all felt it, and that is, it's so necessary, for really protecting our energy and going inside and away from the outside world to really integrate into what's coming through for us. It's important work.
I have never spent so much time alone in such an expanded way. I have not felt alone. I have not felt lonely. I surrendered into it. Now, this has been building because I have always been a very social person and a lot of engagements and so forth, a lot of live performances, just a lot of activity out there in the world. And that had already started to slow before the pandemic, but certainly with the pandemic, it everything ground to a halt. And, I did not get to see that Santana concert. I will eventually, but, all that sort of stuff. And instead of course, I'm human. There were momentary, this really sucks. I don't like this. I wish I could go to a concert, a movie, a show, a restaurant, or whatever, whatever it is that I wanted to do. But what I did instead was surrender, because I knew this is the breakdown, and this is how it is right now. This is how it is, and I need to use this time because it won't always be like this. And then and it already is. I'm getting busier. I mean, things are moving forward, and there's less of that naturally insulated, built into the day, quiet time of contemplation. So don't waste this time, everybody. If you're still in that stay-at-home state, welcome it and celebrate it and use it to create with the new energies, so that when physically in the 3D world things move back into, in quote, normal, you'll be able to flow with the new normal, because it will be new. We're embodying, the Schumann Resonance has exponentially expanded in the last, it's been expanding for several years. The Schumann Resonance is sort of heartbeat, if you will, of the Earth. It's the frequency of the Earth. It can be scientifically measured, and it has been measured to have been increasing over the last several years, but in the last couple of months, it's like 1,000 times stronger.
Yeah,
so
never been this high. Yeah.
Right. And that's what we need to align with. That's what the stillness, that's what the going within is allowing us the time. And as a light warrior, you definitely want to allow that to come in, because being in alignment with these new higher vibrational frequencies is going to be how you flow in abundance. And if you're not in alignment with them, it's going to get kind of glitchy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting, the last, I think since Monday or Sunday, I've noticed on the Schumann Resonance, the red line, which is like measures like the evil, the darkness on the planet, has like flatlined. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wow.
So now there's
what's
another
happening here.
Well, what is happening is shifts in the world, in the 3D world, come on many different levels from many different dimensions and many different frequencies. And one of the most powerful ways that we have to assist in that process is to hold the space of light and love for those who are resisting. That's how we can flatline that negativity, right? We don't need, there's a place for everything. That's why Robert's guides were saying, tune into what is for you to do in this time. Some of us are boots on the ground, need to be out there, actively involved in the 3D breakdown of the patriarchal structures, ideas, beliefs, patterns, paradigms. And many more of us, of the light warriors, are here to channel the light. I mean, I do my share of, signing petitions and volunteering and this and that. But really what I'm here to, where I make a difference beyond the work that I do every day, which for me, coming from a trial law background to this, that was a huge shift and a huge stepping into my divine missions. More than that, holding the light. I mean, when I wake up in the morning and before I go to bed at night, I always take a period of time. Sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's 2 minutes, and I flow light into the earth, and then I say, where is more laser beam light needed, and whatever comes up. And of course, it's often, family and people I know, areas I know that are in conflict, what have you, and I just channel, pull in the light into that area. That's my present mission. And so It is for each of us to discern what is my present mission and how am I to exercise my strengths and my abilities, how am I to unleash my creativity as a light warrior to serve in this moment. And then you will receive your orders if you surrender into that, and then you'll know what to do.
Yeah, you're just guided to it. I
yes.
love that. So Sue wrote back in, Sue from Santa Monica, and she said, wow, incredible guidance. Thank you. I asked recently for lingering fears to present during the month of January so I can flow into love's beauty and energy during these times. I didn't know I had a leak, but understand now in addressing it that it stems from a fear surrounding global warming and a bit of panic. Once the leak was closed, my heart center burst open, and I felt it immediately align with my third eye crown. Total joy and lightness. A huge thank you and many blessings from Sue.
Beautiful.
Wow.
So, Sue, here's something, and my head is, the top of my crown is just buzzing. It's amazing. About 2 hours before the show, I saw this article that I did not read in full. I just scanned it. But it was about climate change and global warming, a very big concern of mine as well. So I feel you on that. Anyone who is here in California or on any coast in the United States, that's the we're the front line of climate change. So I understand that. But what this article said is that it is now being learned scientifically that coming to carbon neutral is going to have a much faster, bigger impact than what they thought before. In other words, previously it was thought once we get to zero carbon neutral, however they do that across the globe, then we have all these years, decades of rebooting and getting things to respond favorably to that carbon neutral status. That is not true any longer. And why not? It is because of the light. So there's nothing to fear. If you stay in the light, if you stay in your heart, if you discern what your role is as a light warrior in this now moment as we are emerging out of the breakdown, still happening, but we are moving out of that into the breakthrough, into the new age of Aquarius, all things are possible. So we can even get to zero carbon neutral faster than we thought. How? Well, do your part physically in your 3D world, but more importantly, do your part as a light warrior. Turn that worry and that concern into love, because there's only two things in the world. There's fear and there's love. If you're in fear, you're not in the you're not part of the solution, right? You're part of the density. You're tapping into, it's, again, going back, if you want to, hear the radio, don't turn on the TV. If you want to find the solutions to climate change, to flowing in abundance personally, stay in love. And when you feel, see, sense, have that thought of the fear, thank you for showing me you're here. You can go now and bring in the light. Recognize it and let it go. Because here, as I was sitting there, why are you, see, I should have been opening up appointments for the packages, but I'm scanning this article on climate change and how the new science is showing that maybe it's not as dire as we thought. And now I know why, Sue. That was for you. So
there you go.
I just love all these connections and alignments, Patty. It's so profound.
And Robert came through with that reminder to open up your calendar. So
right? Yes. So for everyone who's buying the package, give me a couple of hours. You can't book your appointment yet because I haven't opened them up, but I will.
That's great. That's great. Well, the one thing that you should know is that there is a whole glorious world that is going to be opening up, that is just going to be just so unbelievable, and it's exciting what's coming. So, Beth, you have a beautiful special offer for the audience. There's 2 packages, and I'd love for you to talk about it. You have Package A that starts with 2 live group sessions.
So I was guided, when I first started doing telesummits, I was guided to include a teaching component as part of the packages because, okay, I'll say it that way, too many people, especially before, I think less so now, but in the last half a decade, people were looking for the answer, the fix me, and that's not how it works. And so my team said you need to have a teaching component to alert people to understand that they have to learn what they need to do because the solution is from them. We all need guides and mentors and teachers, but the real work has to be done by you. And so that's why in the 2-part workshop that is in Package A includes a teaching component and then a group quantum energy lab, which is essentially what we're doing here with the Q&A. People come to the call, you have a question. If you don't know what you want, you can simply say, what does my higher self want me to know? And we work in that group context, and there's a lot of material, PDFs and written materials as well as video materials, some of which are the bonuses that will support you and help you, because none of this is one and done. I'm doing this work and people are choosing to work with me, and I'm still doing my work. We always have more to do. And so that's the thrust of Package A, is that it gives you the learning, the teaching, the exposure that you need to go deeper yourself, then to really fine-tune and expand the experience. In Package B, you get a half an hour one-on-one session with me where we will work to reprogram things for you so that you can regenerate your abundance, structure your abundance frequency in alignment with the new light codes that are coming in, and be more empowered, cleared out, charged up, if you will, to move forward with the work. And for the price, I mean, the price of Package B is only a couple of dollars more than the individual price of a 60-minute session with me. So you're getting a lot for a lot of bang for your buck, is what my imp is saying. There's a lot to work with here, because ultimately, you know, of course, everyone has to have, when you're in human form, the structure, at least for now, is you get bills and you have to pay them. So we all have to have a stream of income. But the truth is, if I'm doing my job right, someday you don't need me. And that's the whole reason why the package is so bountiful, with tools and materials that you can use yourself to deepen your daily practice so that you're anchored, centered, and open to receiving what more wants to come through you.
So the Package A is the two calls. The first one is that it's a 90-minute call on magnetizing exponential financial, emotional, and physical abundance. And then the second call, as you said, is the QEL, the Q&A, Quantum Energy Lab, with to be able to ask Beth your questions. And then you have the Fibonacci series activations, which are Fibonacci spiral in the 22nd dimension, the Fibonacci activation in the Cave of Abundance, the Fibonacci Palace of Abundance activation, the Fibonacci clearing and spiral in the Meadow activation, and then you have bonuses. Let's see.
Well, then there's also there's some MP3s from, I do a monthly energy healing call, and there's 3 recordings, 3 MP3s of those, so you can have a different experience beyond that Fibonacci series, which is very powerful, and people really get a lot of big results from that. But the 3 MP3s from the monthly energy healing call give you a different view of the work, and it includes the Sacred Energetic Bonfire and Release, which is perfect for this time, because following through on your own with that activation will allow you to release what you don't need, the density that no longer serves, so you'll be open to receiving more. So that's the kind of stuff that's there, the meat that is available through those offerings in the package, as well as those bonus gifts, which are the Clearing Meridians video, again, to keep the energy flowing in your body, and the Joshin Kokyoho Golden Waterfall meditation. So,
okay. And then there's more, though. There is the installation of the new light codes and the 5D violet flame frequency, the up-leveling light codes in the Forest of Light, and there is the energetic bonfire and release.
Right, that's the monthly energy healing calls that I was talking about, but I only talked about the bonfire. I didn't talk about the others. Okay,
all right. So that package, the special offer price on that is $127. The value on that is over $1,200. So it's an enormous package. And then, as you said, package B includes all of that, plus that 30-minute private one-on-one session with Beth. And that is $197. And the value on that is over $1,600. So that's huge, Beth. Thank you so much for bringing that to our audience.
You're so
Wow.
welcome.
Take advantage of that. That is huge. What a way to start the new year, to dive into that and have a session with you. Thank you. I know you also wanted to share a process with us.
And this is the perfect time because the process that we're going to do involves 2 Fibonacci vortexes. So you'll get a little taste of the power of the Fibonacci, which is an infinitely expanding numerical sequence. If you add 1 and 1, you get 2. Then you add 2 to 1, you get 3. 3 plus 2 equals 5. There's a whole sequence that is the Fibonacci, and it comes out in nature in spirals. It's everywhere recurring in nature. Because it is part of the natural order of the divine universe, working energetically with the structure of the Fibonacci is very powerful. So are we ready for the Fibonacci vortex process?
We are.
All right. So if you're drinking anything that is open, cover it up, because as we will be releasing significant energy, you don't want it to magnetize into your drink and then drink it back. And then just come into a comfortable position as we begin our journey in the Fibonacci vortex for the new age of Aquarius. So close your eyes, sit comfortably, bring your attention to your third eye, and drop it down to your heart space, imagining that you are standing within the space of your heart. And from the center of your heart, extend a brilliant diamond white light flecked with pink and blue up through your throat, your third eye, out your crown, and you're going to send it way high up into the furthest reaches of the heavens, where you will lock it in to the constellation Sirius, said to be the realm of love. So just imagine Sirius and lock your white light flecked with blue and pink into that frequency, and then run that love frequency from Sirius down your white light, bring it all back down, feel it re-enter your crown, and flow it back to the center of your heart space. And now we're going to ground into the earth, very important in these changing frequencies. So imagine a stout gold grounding cord about as wide as your body, and you're going to send it down your torso, down your legs, out the soles of your feet, into the center of Mother Earth, where at the very center of Mother Earth there's a golden grace light, the heart of Mother. It's a ball of fire and energy. You're going to lock your grounding cord into that grace light ball. Beautiful. Now draw that grace light up your grounding cord, bring it all back up, feel it re-enter your feet, and flow it up to your heart space, where it meets that white light flecked with pink and blue. Bring your attention to the convergence point, as above, so below, as within, so without, and expand those conjoined, grounding, expanding lights, the gold and the white flecked with the blue and the pink, out into a column that's about arm's distance around you and runs from that point below at the heart of Mother all the way up to Sirius. Just let those frequencies mix and expand in whatever way they seek, feeling into this state of stability. Beautiful. Now, open a Fibonacci spiral vortex under your feet and at the base of your aura, and you're going to run it counterclockwise, so to the left. So at the very center, it draws the energy out further and further and further, expanding, creating this vortex, and the narrow funnel end is going to lock into that golden grace light ball at the heart of Mother. So you're going to expand this Fibonacci vortex from under your aura, under the base of your feet, and let it draw all the way into the heart of Mother. Beautiful. Let that vacuum vortex begin to build in that counterclockwise motion. Now open the trap doors on the soles of your feet and direct out and down into that vacuum vortex all energy, density, shadows, all calcification, all sticky, sludgy, gelatinous crud that does not serve you. Invite it out. Take a deep breath in, the biggest breath you've taken all day. Lean forward and exhale with some sound, letting go from that way as well. Breathing in, letting go. One more time. Breathe in, exhale, and release. Third time. Biggest breath yet. Breathe in and release into that Fibonacci vortex. Now draw your attention above your crown. There is another Fibonacci spiral vortex building there. This one is flowing in a clockwise motion, so to the right. And just let that build. It's just the narrow funnel end is hovering right above your crown, and it's building. It's going to draw in the new light and freedom codes coming in through this new age of Aquarius. And since we have cleared space, we have much room to fill. And before we do that, we're going to bring in a crystalline structure, infinity symbol, one vertical and one horizontal. So before you is Divine Mother, Archangel Michael, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Gabriel, as well as Mother Mary, Jesus, and Joseph. Divine Mother steps forward with a vertical figure 8, that infinity healing symbol, and she places it, the crossover point is directly in your heart, and the top loop goes up over your crown and then down under your root. So just let that crystalline structure of the sacred 8 infinity symbol that Divine Mother has given you, let it begin to build in that vertical position as Michael steps forward with a horizontal figure 8 that is crossing over in the center of your heart at that same point, but this time it's going horizontally and it extends out about arm's distance. Beautiful. Now just let that build as well. These 4 chambers, if you will, created by the vertical and the horizontal sacred 8s are where the new light and freedom codes are going to be placed for storage and expansion, so to speak, as they are drawn in through the Fibonacci vortex above your head. So begin breathing deeply. The lights are coming through. The codes are coming through. They are going right into the vertical infinity symbol, and they are then spreading out and filling into that horizontal figure 8. Allow whatever colors and frequencies are being gifted to you. For some, it will be a rainbow ribbon. For some, it may be more pink, less blue. Just allow, notice what frequencies the Fibonacci vortex above your crown is pulling in from the outer regions of the galaxy, from the universe, each one encoded to align with your highest good, to activate with clarity the divine missions that remain for you to fulfill, and the way forward to achieving the fulfillment of that mission with ease and grace. Take a deep breath in. With your inner eye, notice that as the vertical and horizontal infinity symbols become full with this bountiful light, the light begins to expand into other regions of your bodies, all four of your bodies, mental, physical, emotional, and energetic or spiritual. And the infinity symbols may begin to rotate, to shimmer. They may move independently. They may move together. Notice what's happening and allow it. Surrender into this divine gift of the higher vibrational frequencies that align with your highest good and support you to your highest success, achieving all that you came here to be, do, have, and create. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, release anything that does not match these higher vibrational freedom codes, and let that go down into that vortex vacuum below your feet, and then shut it down, releasing it into Mother Earth, into that golden grace light ball. Honor yourself for your donation to Mother, as she will use this light to continue her healing. Notice above your head that clockwise Fibonacci vortex is lifting off. It can be called back as needed. It is complete for now. Take a moment to extend great gratitude to Divine Mother, Archangel Michael, Archangel Ariel, Gabrielle, Mother Mary, Jesus, and Joseph for standing in attendance and bearing witness to your expansion with the Fibonacci Vortex and the new Age of Aquarius frequencies. For your support, your guidance, and your love, we give great thanks and extend much love. And so it is. And so now you can open your eyes and just take a look about the room that you're in. Notice what's come in and what's left. Well, maybe the light seems different, the air may feel different, whatever you notice, just noticing helps to integrate the new frequencies with greater ease and grace into the physical. You may experience a lot of sensation. You may not experience much. Either way, the energy is working its way through your systems. So as you continue to integrate, it will go on for 5 to 7 days, depending on who you are and your receptivity. And in that time, you want to drink a lot of water and stay really grounded. Get out in nature if you can. If the weather doesn't allow for that, connect with nature under your feet and through your inner eye, and go gently with great love, honoring yourself for doing this work. Thank you for being here.
That was beautiful, Beth. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Wow. Really beautiful. It felt so good, for this moment. Yeah.
I'm so grateful.
What a gift. Thank you.
Wow.
This was absolutely wonderful. I just am in gratitude for you today and all of our SoulTalk audience to all collaborate in bringing through just some beautiful information and messages from our audience's questions, and just a wonderful, beautiful energy together. Thank you all for participating in that. And thank you, Beth. Take advantage of Beth's beautiful special offer and a chance to work with her in this all-important time. And with that, we're going to say goodbye to everyone, sending you all much love and big hugs. Much love to you, Beth. Big hugs.
Love to you, Patty, and thank you for bringing us all together.
I love it. I love this, that I get to do this. So until next time. And with that, we'll say goodbye to everyone. Bye-bye now.